Say, come on in, close the door, and feel the vibe. We got macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and chicken inside.
Hey, hey, come on in, close the door, and feel the vibe. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with the new video, ready to bless y'all with some R&B, man, the right way, the authentic way. But listen, before y'all do anything, share this video, like this video. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to Junior's World of Soul. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no macaroni and cheese for you like BJ the Chicago Kid said, but I do got some nice little R&B to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, all that being said, I came in with BJ the Chicago Kid, Feel the Vibe with him and Anderson .Paak off his new album 1123, which I talked about a lot on this show on Current R&B Bangers. Now, if you are new to Junior's World of Soul, Current R&B Bangers is all about just showing, you know, the mainstream world that R&B is alive and well. A lot of people try to say it's not here, and mainstream kind of gives that impression, you know what I'm saying, that R&B is dying and it ain't here no more. And you know, thank God that we have the internet, you know what I'm saying. So for me, as an R&B lover that saw that R&B just wasn't given the love that it deserved, I said I'm going to create something. So I created a show, Current R&B Bangers, and basically I kind of try to give y'all 3 to 6 joints every week to try to just show y'all that R&B is alive and well. You know what I'm saying? I'm really here just to represent R&B the right way. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of these mainstream websites that kind of use R&B when it's kind of like the hot topic. Everybody want to use R&B then. But when it's like nobody's really talking about R&B, then nobody really want to talk about it. But here at Junior's World of Soul and for Current R&B Bangers, I'm going to talk about it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's what Current R&B Bangers is all about. And this week, I got 3 joints for y'all that I'm going to bless y'all with. And I'm going to end the video with something very, very, you know, dope that I want to talk about. But let's get into this, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to R&B rant all day, you know what I'm saying? If you watch the last couple of videos, I went on a couple of rants when it comes to R&B because I love it so much, you know what I mean? But let's just get this started. Started off with these fellas that I'm so happy to talk about.
So, don't you forget to remember me. Don't let it slip through your memories. Don't you forget to remember forever. Oh,
Hey, yes, indeed. The guys I'm talking about, Louis York, that's representing New York and St. Louis. Get it? Louis York. Hello, you get it? I hope y'all not that slow. Come on now. But this is the production and songwriting team. I'm talking about Chuck Harmony, and I am talking about Chloe Kelly. They created a group. You know what I'm saying? They done worked with everybody. They done worked with Janet Jackson, Neo, Fantasia. You know what I'm saying? Kelly Clarkson, Mary J. Blige. They done worked with so many artists. You know what I'm saying? So they finally came together as a group, and they started making their own music. You know what I mean? Starting in 2015. They came out with their EP Masterpiece Theater, which I really enjoyed. They got 3 of them, Masterpiece Theater, Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And you know, from that, you know, I've been really liking their music. It's different, it has a different vibe, and I've just been a fan of them. I wish I would have talked about them on Current R&B Bangers a lot more, but it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But they finally came out with their debut album, American G-Rocks, and all I have to say that I am so happy for this album. I'm so happy, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I was so hyped because on this album they have Don't You Forget, which is, you know, the song that you hear in the background, and then they had the song No Regrets. So I was so hyped for this album. I was like, yes, I was waiting for this album. So it came out last Friday, and when my first listen, I'm gonna be truthfully honest. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about here, Junior's World of Soul. I'm gonna be honest with it. When I first heard the album, I was a little disappointed because I was like, nothing hit me. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it was Friday, I was up early, maybe I was tired, you know what I'm saying? My music mind wasn't up yet. you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, what is going on? I wanted more. I was like, come on, give me more. But then I talked to my brother Sin, and he was like, yo, this album is amazing. Like, this album is dope, bro. Like, what you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, it gotta be me. I'm bugging, you know what I'm saying? So what I finally did Sunday, I sat and I just had it and I just blasted and I fell in love with this album. I don't know what was wrong with me on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I might have needed a drink. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that was the problem because I was not getting it. But Lord, on Sunday I got it and I have been listening to it every day. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to it at work non-stop. I'm so in love with this album. I think it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the style of Louis York. They don't sound like anybody else, you know what I mean? But it's still the basis of R&B music, but they still add those different genres in it, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm going back that I talked about two of the joints on Current R&B Bangers, No Regrets, and Don't You Forget I talked about. And let me tell you something. I love this album. Like, I really love this album. And I'm going to give y'all a little, review on it a little bit. All in My Feelings got me from the break. That was a song that I liked when I listened to it on Friday. And I was like, yo, I love this. You know what I'm saying? The production kind of just draws you in. And it's like Louis York is not playing when you hear this. It's like they got you. You know what I'm saying? It's very 80s. It's very Pat Benatar, Love Is a Battlefield type of vibe, but it still have that kind of current knock to it. You know what I'm saying? And me, with the most emotional person y'all probably would know, I'm always up in my feelings. I'm in my feelings. If it's only a little bit of liquor left, I'm in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I got it. You know what I mean? Then Electric Blue. Electric Blue is such a happy-go-lucky song. Like, when you sing it, it just feels good. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got somebody special. It's like everything you see in this Electric Blue. It's just a dope. You know what I'm saying? It's just a dope joint. How Will I Feel is actually my favorite song on the record because it's so vulnerable. And it's such a vulnerable song. And I just love how Louis York, how they said in music they're not telling stories anymore, and that's very true. And this song is so vulnerable, and it definitely touched my heart. You know what I'm saying? It actually gave me No One Will Listen from Kelly Clarkson's album on her All I Ever Wanted. If y'all check that out, you can kind of see it's definitely similar, but I'm telling you, Corey Kelly, stop playing. This dude sings, you know what I'm saying? And this song was so vulnerable, so that was my favorite joint on the record. Other great songs on it was The Sexy Velvet. Love that joint. The Powerful I Wonder, definitely for the, the atmosphere that we're in and the place that the world is in, definitely needed a song like that. And the happy song that they kind of end the album on, which is Love Takeover with my girls, the Shandellas. You know what I'm saying? My girls was getting it at the end vocally, you know what I'm saying? And they did Desiree, what is it? You Gotta Be. They did that, in their own version, but yo, the song that I kept playing over and over again, and I was like, yo, this is the one. It was entitled Glow. And I was like, yo, this needs to be the next single. So Louis York, if y'all watching this video, I need y'all to make Glow the next single. This song is dope. It's like a sing-along. It's just a great sing-along. And I feel like right now, everybody is into these, you need this great hook to catch. And I feel like you can, this song, it's a great hook, and I like it, and I kept playing it. I was like, yo, this is a mainstream joint. This joint is a crossover, but it still has that underline of R&B on it, but I think it's a great song, and I was like, I'm going to talk about this joint. So this is the first joint of Current R&B Bangers. This is entitled Glow, and here is Louis York. So let's sing along, people. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 1.
Just can't stop it. I can't sit down. I'm up on my feet right now. It feels like the lights blew out. 'Cause baby, you got that glow. I can't get right. It's okay, we got all night.
All night, hey.
Like a brand new high. 'Cause baby,
you got that glow. You got that glow. Hey.
I got glow.
See, and this album, it's a feel good record, you know what I'm saying? And then you can sing along to it, and it makes you just feel good, you know what I'm saying? But this song is definitely, I feel like it's a single, but the whole Louis York album, American G-Rise, is so dope, yo. Riots, I say G-Riots, G-Riots, like this album is just dope, y'all. I recommend it for y'all. What I would say about this album is very 80s. If you are a fan of The System, you are fans of Pat Benatar, you are a fan of a lot of that 80s new wave, but an R&B flavor to it, and you also get some country out of the songs. I think this album is just dope, y'all. I'm in love with it. I recommend y'all go check it out, y'all. But definitely, I feel like the song that definitely needs to be the next single is Glow, and that's the first joint on current R&B bangers. That's coming from Louis York, and that is Glow. Woo! Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yeah. All right, wait a minute now. See you fall in love, hey! You fall in love. Hey, ha! Nobody does. Woo! Hey, ha! Love this joint. We can. Woo! Come on. Mr. Big Shot, know you got money in the right now. Hey, Mr. Big Shot. Wow. I'm sorry, y'all. I love that record, man. But that is Nicole Bus, who is representing the Netherlands. You know what I'm saying? I just remember getting introduced to her when her song You leaked, and they was playing it on WBLS, and people was, you know, putting retweeting it on Twitter, and everybody was like, yo, what is this song? And it was like, yo, I just remember taking just that clip that they were playing, and I talked about it on current R&B bangers, because I was like, this is a smash. This is a smash. And I was introduced to it by my brother saying, he was like, yo, this new girl, you gotta check her out. Yo, they retweeting this joint, and he sent it to me, and I was like, I'm gonna talk about this joint. I don't even care if I got a clip. Like, this song was dope. You know what I'm saying? And what I like is that she sounds so different than what these kind of current R&B artists, besides, you know, her and Lucky Day and a lot of these, you know, other R&B artists. It's a lot of them, but kind of the mainstream ones is really trying to connect to this trap vibe, which is dope. But I'm like, everybody is sounding the same. There's nothing different. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell the difference. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be truthful. You can't tell the difference from an LMA song to, you know, what's his name? Bryson Tiller song, or this, what is it, YK, whatever his name is. They all have the same sound. I understand you want to connect to trap, but everybody don't have to have that same sound. So when Nicole Buzz came out, I was like, okay, she has a whole different vibe, and that's kind of what sets her apart from a lot of, you know, these current R&B artists, you know what I'm saying? But to me, I feel like she's definitely the bridge of a new sound, but it's kind of like a nostalgic sound, because I feel like what she's doing is what Mary did in 1992. You know what I mean? It was like Mary was connecting that young, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, the older, but then adding that, you know, hip-hop swag to it. And I feel like this is what Nicole Bus is doing now for this current, you know, generation. And it shows that whatever she's doing is working, and a lot of people are paying attention, because the song You was #1 for like 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely, you know, that's why she's in a whole, I feel like she's in a different kind of lane than everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because she's doing something that's fresh, even though it kind of gives us flashbacks of Mary of what she did in 92, but it's something fresh. We need this different. And then the girl can sing, because we don't want to talk about these mainstream artists, you know, excluding Lucky Day and her and all them, but the ones that, I don't even go there. But anyway, I feel like she is bridging that gap of, you know, that culture of R&B and the culture of hip hop, and I feel that's what she's doing, and it's definitely needed. You know what I'm saying? As you can hear in the background, Mr. Big Shot, I talked about this joint on current R&B bangers. When I first heard it, I was like, yo, this is a smash. It's a banger. You know what I'm saying? So I was just waiting for her album. I'm like, all right. You got Mr. Big Shot. Where's his album? So she was doing interviews and saying she couldn't really tell, and, you know, just having it a secret, because she signed with Roc Nation, which is dope, which I hope Roc Nation do her right, for real. But She just released her album last Friday. It's entitled Kairos, and this album is the truth. Like I said, it's definitely the bridge of R&B. You know, R&B and hip hop, really the culture of both, the real culture. You know what I'm saying? My favorites on this album, I have a lot of favorites. The first joint, I think my favorite one is Rain, because she used Big's What's Beef sample. But if you don't know that, that is Richard Evans, Close to You. Another one is Friend Indeed, 411, how coincidence, she has a song 411, and Mary did the same thing she's doing with What's the 411. But With You, and then SOS, where she uses the Nas Ain't Hard to Tell kind of thing in there, and then some scratches in there. You know what I'm saying? I think the album is dope. She also has a song that she just singing on to really showcase her voice, which I think is dope too. But the song that I really kept playing over and over and over and over again, and I remember when I was going back and forth with my brother, and we was going back and forth, and I was like, yo, this one is the one. And he was like, yo, that's my favorite joint too. I was like, yo, I'm going to talk about this one on the show. But this joint is dope. I am talking about track number 4. This joint is called Unchanging. The joint is a smash. It's just the sound that I see that Nicole Bus is doing. I think the song is dope, y'all, and it's a hit. And it's dope, and I feel like the real hip hop heads will love this, the R&B heads will love this, and it's still gonna make the current generation dance. So I think it's a dope joint. This joint is called Unchanging, and here we go. Goes a little something like this, people. Here we go.
I'll be holding on to your unchanging hand. I've seen the light, holding on.
Bring it back.
Holding on to your unchanging hand. Hey. Holding on to your unchanging hand.
Hey. Woo. That beat is smooth, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still street, but she's still singing on it. Got a nice little melody to it. I think it's dope, man. You know what I'm saying? And listen, Rock Nation, don't drop the ball on this artist, yo. She's dope. She's different than what a lot of these, you know what, these other labels want to push, what the R&B agenda is, to kind of connect it with hip hop. But look, y'all got an artist that kind of giving that nostalgia of that real, hip hop, culture and the R&B culture. Y'all can do something with this, man. And Unchanging Hands is another song that definitely proves the sound that Nicole Bus is going for. I think this song is just dope. But listen, I recommend y'all go listen to Nicole Bus' album, Kairos. I think it's a great album. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. But at the end of the day, Unchanging is the one, and that's why I had to talk about that joint. So that is the second joint on current R&B bangers that's coming from Nicole Bus, and that is Unchanging. Unchanging Hands. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Woo! Love that joint too. Alrighty. Okay, where we at?
Don't need to win already won.
Hey, woo! Bring it in, hey. Y'all know I'm crazy, man. I like to just vibe to the music a little bit. Just give y'all a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? You can't help but just the joint is just smooth, you know what I'm saying? But this is the Toronto represent, but the UK born. I'm talking about Dayton James. And this is his song Already Won that I talked about on current R&B Bangers. This is how I was introduced to him, you know what I'm saying? And the little background on him, like I said, he was born in the UK. Now he's residing in Toronto, and he's been paying his dues, you know what I'm saying? He's been writing for different artists, you know what I'm saying? But now I think he's on his own, musical journey, which I think is great. You can definitely realize that with this song Already Won, what I took from it, you know what I'm saying? Because he felt like very unfulfilled. He was doing stuff for other artists, and he wanted to do stuff for him. And he feel like, you know what I'm saying, saying? People can look at him and be like, you know what you doing? And he's like, I already won. I'm doing songs for other people. You know what I'm saying? Shaggy and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it hit me because I feel like it's inspirational for me. Because I'm like, listen, you know what I'm saying? People like, well, you know, how do you feel about the views? I don't. I'm happy that I'm just doing something that I love. I love coming in front of this camera talking about, you know, R&B and letting y'all know where R&B is. And this song kind of hit me, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I was introduced to him by this song. But then, of course, once the research happened, I went back. And then he has a song called Changing Ways. And that joint knocked. Change My Ways. The joint is a knocker for real, for real. But I definitely have to shout out Dayton for putting my clip of me talking about his song Already Won on his Facebook, his Instagram. Thank you for the love. I really, really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I wish, you know, my haircut, Lord have mercy, even though I gotta get one now, but but I really, really appreciate that. But excuse me. So once I heard those two songs, Change My Ways and Already Won, I was like, yo, he's 2 for 2 for me. So he was like, yo, I got an album, EP coming out. And he put out his EP yesterday, and he entitles it, I want to say it right, Non-Native Volume 1. And for me, I thought it was personal, especially with songs like Brunswick War. He's taking us back to kind of his roots and where he was from. You know, he was maybe talking about a date, you know what I'm saying, going back on a date, you know, that was his first date and all that, but it takes us a little to his roots of what Brunswick War is. If you don't know, it's in the UK. Already Won, I felt like it was personal, you know what I'm saying, with him being unfulfilled and he putting his all into this song. Change My Ways, you know what I'm saying, you got to change your ways, you got to be better for yourself. So those are kind of personal joints. He got the joints that knock, talking about Ashtray and Paralyzed. But the one that I feel like is the one, and I feel like it has that knock too, but this joint is dope, is Track 2 and Belongs to Me. I kept playing that joint over and over yesterday, and I was like, yeah, this joint is a banger. So here is Dayton James, and here is Belong to Me, and here we go. Goes a little something like this. Here we go. Bring the beat back. Hey, 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 come on, hey, It's a smooth joint. That's why I like it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this joint is smooth. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday I was washing my clothes. I was like, okay, now I like this. You know what I'm saying? So I thought this joint was dope. You know what I'm saying? I kept playing it over and over. And then it still has that knot, but it's still simple. And that's what I like about it. Got a nice little groove to it. But listen, y'all go check out Dayton James's Non-Native Volume 1, and I'm gonna put all his social media and more info box. Y'all definitely check it out. Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a dope EP. You know what I'm saying? Just getting the world ready for him. You know what I'm saying? So y'all really, really check him out and let me know what y'all think. But that is the third joint of current R&B bangers. That is Belong to Me, and that is from Dayton James. All right, y'all. Those are your 3 joints for this week, and that is Louis York, and that is Glow, Nicole Butts with Unchanging, and Dayton James with Belong to Me. All right, so y'all know I always want to end with, you know, current R&B bangers with, I always start with a new song coming in, and I try to end with a classic. But this video, I wanted to talk about a book that I read, and I want to talk about this artist that, you know, he's really one of the greatest songwriters of all time, in my opinion, especially because I was a fan of him, and I'm talking about Rob Temperton. And I've been a fan of him for the longest, but I didn't really know a lot about him. So The Invisible Man, the story of Rob Temperton, came out, and I was like, yo, I had it in my wish list on Amazon, and I was like, I want to buy it. And I was talking to my big bro V Chandler, on Twitter, and and Burn, let's just say that. And me and him was going back and forth, and then one day he just was like, yo bro, what's your address? And he gave me, I gave him my address, and then like 3 days later I look in my mailbox, and y'all, he gave me the book, y'all. Like, he gave me the book. And I could not believe it. Like, I was like, wow. Like, you remember, mind you, we talked about this like months and months ago. And I really, I could not believe he sent me this book. Like, I lost my mind when I opened it because I really wanted to read this book. And I had it in my wish list for the longest. But I was like, yo, I'm going to get it. And finally, I got it. And let me tell y'all, I got it Saturday, actually. I got it on Saturday. And I started reading it. Y'all, I took it to work today. And I read the whole thing. I couldn't even put it down. I had to stay late for work just because I was reading this book, man. And I learned so much about this dude. I learned so much about Rod Temperton because I was a fan of him since Heat Wave, and my favorite album from them is their debut, is that's Too Hot to Handle, and that is what you hear in the background. Ain't No Half Stepping, Boogie Nights, Too Hot to Handle, Super Soul Sister, Lay It On Me, and of course the big record that everybody kind of knows from it is the ballad Always and Forever. And then I was a fan. The second album was cool, you know what I'm saying, with the groove line. Like, I wasn't, like, Too Hot to Handle was just my favorite from them. Not saying that the second album was bad, but I was a fan of really the first album more. But the Star of a Story from the second album was really my favorite from that, man, like, for real. And then after that, it was just like, you know, he left Heat Wave because he really wanted to be a songwriter. Like, that's what his focus was. He wanted to be a songwriter, and he just left, and he ended up getting with Quincy Jones. And what I liked about Rod Temperton is the fact that he stayed with Heat Wave. He did like all the albums. Like, even though he left them and he got with Quincy Jones and he started doing stuff for Michael and he started doing things for, you know, James Ingram and Patty Austin and, you know, Aretha Franklin and you know, Brother Johnson and George Benson and all these artists, but he still went back to them and worked. And what I liked about this book is that he was so much more than the Thriller songwriter. And that's what I really liked, you know what I'm saying? Because yes, Thriller was a monster, and yes, it was huge, and yes, everybody loved that album, and you go to it, even though Off the Wall is still my favorite, even though I have a respect for Thriller, even though it's the biggest, you know, album of all time and all that kind of stuff, but Off the Wall is still my favorite, you know what I'm saying? But he was also on Off the Wall too. Rod wrote 3 songs, Rock With You, Off the Wall, and he also did Burn This Disco Out, which is like my favorite. He was so much more than that, you know what I'm saying? And it was so many artists that he worked with, you know what I'm saying? And I learned that, you know, I learned from this book that he is what a producer and all that. Let me rewind that a little bit. He was what a producer is supposed to, a songwriter producer is supposed to be. You're supposed to get with an artist and you let the artist be them, but you're supposed to let your idea really come across. You let the artist be them. Like, I liked how everybody interviewed, like, for instance, when he did George Benson, Give Me the Night, and he was working on that album. You know, George Benson is an artist himself, so he's able to kind of do his own thing, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of do what he wants, but you know, he said that Rod kind of was like, look, just stick to my melody, you know what I'm saying? And you can kind of do what you want to do from there, but stick with my melody, you know what I'm saying? And one thing about Rod Temperton is his melodies are freaking, like, so addictive. It catches you off the break, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, obviously Quincy Jones saw something when he was with Heat Wave, because when he worked with, because his team, what's his name, Bruce Sweden, that's down, you know, was really down with kind of Michael doing every album that I think Michael did. Bruce was down with it, and he was part of Quincy Jones' team. Quincy Jones said, go listen to the Star of a Story. And Bruce was like, oh my God. And Quincy Jones has been a fan of him. So I think when Quincy Jones heard that he wasn't, you know, down with, you know, Heat Wave anymore, he was like, yo, I'm going to get him with me. And everybody said that Quincy Jones and Rod Temperton was really like the dynamic duo. Like, Quincy trusted him, he trusted Quincy. It was like both of them did things and they kind of trusted each other, and that's why everything kind of worked. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it came to things like Thriller. Like Thriller, the song was really entitled, what was it titled? Starlight. That's what it was. But, you know, Quincy and him got together, was like, yo, we need to change this, and he changed it to Thriller. You know what I'm saying? The song was about to be called Starlight, and he changed it to Thriller, and he just changed the whole dynamic of what we know to be the best-selling album of all time, the Thriller album. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And what I really like and what was really so inspirational about this book is when Rob said he was with the Heat Wave, and he realized he wanted to just be a songwriter because he's the invisible man, because he likes to be behind the scenes. He don't like all that fanfare. He wants to live his life. He can walk around and do whatever he wants because a lot of people wouldn't even know him. But he said he was with Heat Wave, and he said he was looking at their new pianos because he was the one that was playing piano, and he said he knew right then and there when the piano got fit in, he was like, good, this is my exit. And he went and did what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, he had a good thing with Heat Wave. He was writing the songs, he was doing everything for them. You know what I'm saying? They had 2-hit albums, but he was like, he just wanted to be a songwriter, and he left and did his own thing. And you know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna expect to get the calls when you leaving something. And what happened? He got called by Quincy Jones to work on the Off the Wall album, and then after that, he became part of Quincy Jones' team. He helped them on the Color Purple score, the E.T. thing. What else? He worked on the Brothers Johnson's album with Stump. He worked with, you know, George Benson, the Give Me the Night joint. He worked on the Shaka Khan and Rufus. He worked with so many people, but he was an invisible guy. He like, look, I don't want that exposure. Let the artists be them. I'm going to let them shine, but at the end of the day, I'm behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And reading that book just showed me why I was just seeing so many people saying, well, he's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. And, you know, I was respecting the fact he had all these hits, but to read this book to see how great he really was, I was like, yo, he goes down as one of the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I definitely recommend you guys, if you're a music head, I really recommend you guys check this out. This is a great, great book. You know what I'm saying? You get interviews from Stevie Wonder. I'm not Stevie Wonder. You get interviews with Quincy Jones, the lead singer of Heat Wave. You get from Bruce Sweden. You get it from people from MTV. You get so many interviews, and everybody said that this guy was a good guy. The thing he did the most was smoke. They said he will smoke you out. You know what I'm saying? So he was dope. But what I really don't like about, you know, this industry and in this book, it shows you when, you know, he wrote some of the biggest songs ever, and after a while nobody was calling them no more but Quincy. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you know, in this industry, you hot one day and then they throw you away the next. But mind you, this dude basically helped Michael with his solo career. If it wasn't for Rod Temperton and those hooks and songs and that he gave to Michael, because they said Rob was a bad singer, Rob was a horrible singer, and I went and listened to one of the Thriller demo, and I listened to it. I was like, oh Jesus, he is not good at all. But it just, this industry is shifty, man. You know what I'm saying? But when you read this book, you really realize he's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. His melodies and everything kind of sticks to your heart. And he even worked with Luther, and Luther was inspired from Rod Temperton's, the way he did vocal arrangements and things like that. So really, y'all, I recommend y'all read this book again, The Invisible Man, the story of Rod Temperton and the Thriller songwriter. But at the end of the day, when you read this book, he was a lot more than just a Thriller songwriter. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. But I can't end without jamming. You know what I'm saying? I gotta jam with one. So I'm gonna jam with one of his classics, which is a favorite of mine. And it's off the first album of Heat Wave. I love this record, and I'm gonna go out like this. Here we go.
It's on fire, dance with the boogie, get down. 'Cause boogie nights are always the best in town.
dancing, hey, dancing. Come on, and keep on dancing, hey, I'm dancing. I'm out, peace.